It was my first stay in Azerbaijan, and we had a partner university, which is Kafkas University. I think has a really good reputation, that university. And so what I felt as a first difference was that my first impression that everybody was very formally dressed. So I would always check myself, and I soon realized that it was not considered to be appropriate to wear jeans at work. And so that was my first impression. Then I realized that it was not allowed for ladies to wear a headscarf. So even so, it's an Islamic country, Azerbaijan. It was not allowed for the girls to wear a headscarf, and that was real interesting for me, how the university culture worked. So how everybody behaved, and I realized that it was really very formal behavior. Students kind of approached the teachers in a very formal way. They kept distance, addressed them very properly, didn't dare to enter the office, knocked at the door and waited to be called in. So it was a very formal atmosphere in a kind of way. But then I was really surprised. Then when we had made, for example, an excursion, we spent a day together, teachers and students, that they had a very casual way to talk to each other, and they knew a lot of things about each other, which I was really amazed that, for example, the teacher explained to me that the student has a problem with the other student, and he comes from that family, and they knew a lot from each other about family life and everything. And so I was really surprised, because I don't know a lot about my students. I don't share any private information with them. I don't know how they live and so on. So that was really surprising, because on the one hand side I felt that it's a strong hierarchy and distance, physical distance and formal distance between teacher and student, and on the other hand side, so if you leave in a picture, if you leave the university building, you leave your roles inside, and then outside you have different roles and distance to each other. Well, one challenge, put it like that, I face it as a challenge, was talking about race. So I was teaching in the public health department, and this was in South Carolina, and when we start talking about migration and health and health disparities and things like that, we always came up discussing or finding that most differences have to do with race. And then I kind of tried, or I wanted the students to explain me what race meant to them in their daily life in America, but that was really difficult. And I really struggled with that, because I found that there was kind of no real way to really express that. I had white and black students in class, African Americans. It was a really mixed class, but I realized that it's really difficult to explain that to a foreigner, because I think on one hand side they couldn't imagine that I don't know anything about race, and always when I try to explain them that race is a word that we don't use in German language. We talk about a lot of things, but not race. So, and I wanted them to explain that to me. I faced real difficulties with that word race. And maybe now Black Lives Matter changed a lot in the way that people are more encouraged to talk about that, or are more able to talk about that. So I think that was one really difficult thing for me, and I had not been aware of that. So I studied one semester in America before in Detroit, and it was also a mixed class, and we had a lot of topics, but I feel at that time it was not a topic at university. Even in anthropology it was not a real topic, talking about race in America. But now things changed, and so it was a topic, but I felt that people had no words, at least my students could not explain that to me, and I was kind of helpless. And so that was something which was really, I feel I have to return once and to do it better.